In 2022, I fled the war in Ukraine heavily pregnant. I moved to Germany with nothing. Then I moved back to Nigeria to care for my sick mom. And 5 months after moving back home, she was gone. I had 3 children under 5. No stable income, no plan, and I was falling into depression. Nobody knew because I always showed up smiling. This is a story of how I went from that moment to living and working in Japan. And why losing my mom was the reason I finally stopped waiting for life to get better and I started building it myself. Let me take you back to 2022. I was living in Ukraine with my family. I was teaching English there. We had built a life. Then the war started. We lost so much in Ukraine. Things we've worked for, the life we built there, and boom, gone almost overnight. I was heavily pregnant when we left. We moved to Germany in February 2022. And I want to be honest about what that period felt like. I was pregnant, I was homesick, I was exhausted, and I was trying to hold myself together in a country where I did not fully belong. Germany was a reset that I needed, but it was also one of the most loneliest periods of my life. Being pregnant far from home with the weight of everything we've just lost is something I would never wish on anyone else.
So these are my last days in Germany, and I just want to capture this moment. I know there are so many uncertainties in Nigeria and all that. So this is me. I've been at home for the past just like 2, and I am pregnant again with my 3rd baby. So crazy. All right, cheers.
I made the decision to go back to Nigeria. My mom was sick and I wanted to be close to her. I wanted to feel like I was home. I thought going back home would fix everything. I arrived back in Nigeria in 2023 with my children. I was pregnant again with my 3rd child in a short space of time. 2 babies under 2 years. I had my baby safely in Nigeria. And for a moment, things felt like they were settling. But 5 months after I got home, my mom passed away. I'm not going to pretend that that was okay. It was not okay. She was the reason I came back. And then she was gone. I fell into a really dark place. Nobody around me truly understood what I was going through because I am a type of person who shows up every time smiling. I did not want to be a burden. I did not want people to see how much I was struggling inside. I tried to keep moving. I started a Zobo drink and cake business from my kitchen in Lagos State. I was trying to create something, anything that would give me a sense of purpose and income. But I had a newborn and 2 other children under 5. The business did not work, and honestly, I did not have the strength to force it. I remember sitting in that season and thinking, what am I actually staying here for? My mom was the anchor that connected me to Nigeria. Without her, that anchor was gone. And that question, what am I staying here for, became the question that changed everything. In December of that year, I was scrolling through YouTube and I came across a video about teaching English in Japan. I don't even remember how I found it. And then I watched another one. You see, I had teaching experience. I taught English in Nigeria during my NYSC. And I also taught English in Ukraine as a second language while I was studying. I knew how to work with students. So I started researching whether someone like me could actually do this. Listen, my biggest fear about relocating to Japan was the language barrier. But when I realized that teaching English in Japan, you do not need Japanese proficiency to work as an English teacher, I was relieved. So I told my husband and we decided to apply together. We both applied and waited, but my husband got the offer while I did not. I want you to sit with that for a second because it was not easy. You see, we both made the plans, we both applied together, and then one person got it. And remember that this period of application was the period that I was grieving. So you could say I didn't really put in the work to make the application because of what I was going through, even though I wanted to leave the country. My husband moved to Japan while I stayed back in Nigeria with my 3 children. 3 children, alone, no support system. I would not sit here and pretend that that period was easy. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was one of the darkest periods of my life. But one consolation I had was that even though I'm here with these kids, but my husband is there in Japan building and making way for us to come in. And I trusted the process. After 3 months, my husband put in an application for us to join him under the dependent visa. And we packed up and got on a plane. I arrived in Japan as a dependent, not as a worker. And I knew that that wasn't where my story is going to end. When I arrived in Japan, I immediately started applying for ALT positions. I was not going to sit at home. I had come too far and I've been through so much. People always ask me what gave me the courage to make this move. And I always come back to the same answer: losing my mom. When she passed, I asked myself, what was I staying in Nigeria for? And I could not find a good enough answer. The anchor was gone. And something in me said, if not now, then when? I did not move to Japan because everything was perfect or because I was financially stable. In fact, I was broke. I moved because everything had already fallen apart and I had nothing else left to protect except my future and that of my children. Japan did not fix my grief. I still miss my mom every single day. And sometimes when I'm alone with no one or nothing to distract me, I find myself still crying and grieving over her death because she was very dear to me. But one thing was, it gave me purpose. It gave me a direction and it gave me reason to keep building. And now I am here, an ALT teacher in Japan with 3 children, a growing business, and a story I hope gives someone else courage to take their next step. If you're watching this and you're in that dark place as I was in, stuck, exhausted, grieving, and wondering what you are waiting for, I want you to know that I see you and that door is still open. I have a free guide in my bio that walks you through exactly how to start the Japan ALT process. And if you want a personalized support, I offer coaching, CV services, and clarity calls. All the links are below. Like and subscribe because I'm going to keep documenting this journey honestly. The wins and the hard days, all of it. And if this video helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear this today.